if you're watching this, you're probably thinking one of three things. Either, who is this guy? Episode 0.5, that doesn't make sense. Or, there's a Three Kingdoms mod already for Bannerlord. Slight disclaimer to all of these. I'm new to the YouTube scene, but I had a cool idea for a campaign, thought may as well share it with other people. The recording quality isn't going to be the best at times. It will be HD, but if this goes well, then obviously I'll look at investing to make it a little bit better. Secondly, this video is an introduction to a new series that I'll be trying to run on the channel. In this, I'm going to basically go through what I'm going to want to do in the next campaign, and the difficulty options, character creation, things like that. If you want to skip this and just jump straight to gameplay, then there'll be a button down button on the video, link down in the description that you can click, and you can jump straight to the first episode. And then lastly, as far as I'm aware, there's no Three Kingdoms mods that are fully working yet. The modding community has been great with this game so far, but it is early access, so there is going to be a few things to iron out first. As soon as one of them comes out, we'll probably scrap this, go into that, but what I'm going to do for this series until then is going to be trying to make the Kaldarian equivalent of one of the Three Kingdoms legends. In this one, it's going to be Guan Yu. To do this, we need to look over a few things that make up the benevolent god of war. First and foremost, he was considered to be a mountain of a man, big, strong. In some folklore, or some figures you may have seen him with red paint over his face, wasn't related to any kind of face paint at the time or war paint, but it was more to symbolise his courage and his loyalty. He was also known for his unbending devotion to justice and his undying loyalty. I'm going to jump into character creation here. So I've tried to kind of show what I can here in terms of character creation. It is Bannerlord, it's not a Three Kingdoms game, it's not going to be perfect. Obviously we've gone for high as we can, deep pitch in his voice to show that as well. Up here with the facial features, we've gone for this kind of a beard. I was thinking about this one, but that might be something for progression. Maybe when we start caring about what we look like more, getting involved in politics, we'll go for this one. But for now, I kind of like the mountain man look that this one gives. So yeah, gonna jump into backgrounds. Now eventually Guan Yu was respected as a god of war, but he also held many other titles alongside that. He was seen as a defender of the weak, even a god of wealth at some point. Everyone has to start somewhere though, and that's true of him as well. Now in his lore, in his early days, it's kind of a bit obscure. It seems that he was obsessed with a book of China's ancient history, saying to have memorized it cover to cover, being able to recite it whenever prompted or asked. He then joined Liu Bei in his pursuit to help the common people and defend them against the Yellow Turban Rebellion. And that's kind of where he got his strength and a lot of his fame from. Now in Bannerlord, there's no real way to represent that in the background options that it offers. So what I've done instead is I've gone for these attribute points and the skill points and tried to match them more closely with how I think he would have been at the beginning. So we've got very basics of leadership, because he did, gather some men up. The athletics and riding, they will level up as we do them activities in the game. The main thing is we want to try and get this polearm as much as we can and get his combat skills down, so we're getting as much health HP as possible, because he was known for being a very, very strong fighter. Something that's worth noting here, in the name here, I'm going to have to stick to just using this like a first name. Now in ancient China, or in China, it would be the other way around. Guan would be his family name, Yu would be his first name, as we would know it as Westerners. But this is a Western game, and unfortunately due to the format of it, I'm going to have to put Guan in here, and then when we finish the clan, we will put the clan as being Clan Yu, and then it will come up and display correctly. And the last thing to mention anyways, usually I would put all of these up to realistic, but because Bannerlord is in early access, there's a few things that aren't working correctly. So some of this is to do with the perks. I'd say at the time of recording, 70% of the perks don't work. What that means is you can level up the skill and you get the passive bonuses from the skills. So as your polearms increase, or as your skill using polearms increase, you do more damage, you swing them slightly faster, things like that. That still all works fine, but the perks are stuff like extra HP, extra damage when you're on a horse compared to when you're on foot. A lot of them don't seem to work correctly. And to offset this slightly, just to make it so it's not completely difficult to us and we don't just get bogged down with all the basic combat, I'm going to switch player and friendly parties receive damage down to just easy, and that means just the player myself and also any companions or any allied lords if we're going to be helping them out at battle. Our armies themselves will still take full damage, but it's just myself and companions, the slightly heroic figures, and I think that works for kind of a romance of the Three Kingdoms era anyways. So I'm going to jump into the main episode. This will be the end of this, and then just check out episode 1 from here.